Hello, cellulites. Welcome
Hello.
in to the Undead Celluloid Society's podcast. I'm your host, Michael,
And I'm Rachel.
and welcome to Found Footage February. Today, we are covering the last broadcasts from 1997.
1998.
Oh, whatever, same thing. Very rare to have a found footage movie before the Blair Witch. There are movies that are found footage before the Blair Witch, like Cannibal Holocaust and a couple others from like the 60s and 70s. But if you're talking about pre Blair Witch, there are three that most people talk about in that genre, and there are Cannibal Holocaust from 1980, the the McPherson tape. I don't know if it's originally called the McPherson tapes, but it's about alien abduction from 1989. They remade it in 1995, and then the last broadcast. This movie is a mockumentary about the New Jersey Devil murders, or they call it,
The Jersey Devil.
they go back and forth between New Jersey Devil murders and fact and fiction murders because that's the name of the show that those dudes are on. These two guys are in the 90s. They're like internet trying to be internet personalities. They had like
Yeah.
5 people watching them or something,
Yeah.
and they explore different places. I mean, it's kind of like traveling MythBusters or like Mountain Men or something. They're like going to like different places to like I don't know.
Something about what I remember, like a Stone Angel, something, and yeah. At first, it was kind of like MythBusters, but they like just stayed in their like
Hmm.
broadcasting room. And then when the viewers didn't care about that, that's when they started traveling.
I think
And
the
then
viewers cared about a lot of things they did.
when the viewers didn't care about that, that's when they came up with the fact or fiction, the Jersey Devil, because they started with the IRC, the instant relay chat.
Yeah, it's like it is. I will say I'm impressed that like how forward thinking it is because this is in the 90s and they're like live streaming with like people commenting while they're streaming.
Yeah,
And someone suggests that they go to New Jersey to look to go investigate the New Jersey Devil, which is if you are
just the Jersey Devil.
oh yeah, the Jersey Devil, whatever. If you're not familiar, if you're familiar with cryptids, it's a really famous cryptid that's kind of just a mashup of a bunch of different things, like a horse head, wings, hoofs, goat hoofs. It stands on 2 legs. It's a mashup of a bunch of different creatures together.
Yeah.
So they are going to investigate whether the Jersey Devil is real. And then it kind of just jumps forward and they are murdered. They're all dead. Um,
Well, no, it doesn't. Like they
it does.
they hire Ryan Clacken as their sound man,
Yeah.
and then Jim Seward as their sidekick.
Yeah. And then, but it does. Like as soon as they like introduce those guys, the next thing we see is that they're all dead. One of the guys is missing, and Jim is being convicted of the murders because he calls 911 like a couple miles away, like, and he's got a little bit of blood on him, I guess. And so they are like, "Well, you must have killed these guys."
Yeah, he's got like 3 drops of blood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so he is being accused of murder. This really kind of reminds me of, in a sense, like I can see where Savage Land got a little inspiration from this. You haven't watched that, but it's also a mockumentary about someone being wrongfully accused of murdering people, and so I see a little inspiration in that here. I mean, this obviously came out first, um, but yeah. So the whole the whole mockumentary aspect of this is that um, the court has a videographer that is splicing together certain aspects of their footage to make it look like Jim could possibly be the killer by taking things out of context and making him act weird. Where we see later when David, who is making this documentary, um, has put together the rest of the footage, and it shows that the guys are actually antagonizing him a lot and kind of trying to bring that out of him.
Yeah.
So where the first half is really kind of like the court trying to like condemn Jim for everything that he's done. And then about the midway point is when we find out that they have convicted him and that he's in jail.
Yes.
And then the second half is David trying to figure out what actually happened. So he, like I said, he puts more of the footage back into the film, and then he gets a box of tapes sent to him that are from the rest of the night.
Yeah.
And he, they're like really distorted and stuff. So he takes them to a lady named Shelley to undistort them to figure out what's on them.
Yes.
And yeah.
Yeah, and then she does.
She does.
And
it's
we
pretty
find
obvious.
out. Yeah, it kind of like I was kind of thinking this is where it was heading from from how it was going, but
I mean, I kind of liked that they're trying to like subvert your expectations. I do think that this movie wasn't meant to be seen in HD because one of the I told you because you had gotten up to use the restroom that I knew that it was David. That David, spoilers, David is the one that has killed them, and he's making a documentary just because he can, I guess.
because he wants to know, I guess.
He gets his sick thrills off of it, probably.
Yeah.
But when they're doing their live stream, it cuts back to their live stream, and it shows like someone that commented saying you should do the Jersey Devil, and it says like David or something on it. So it's like I don't know if we were supposed to see that, but yeah. So the lady unscrambles the footage while David is doing fucking off, talking about the Jersey Devil and shit in the woods. And then he gets the phone call that the footage is almost scrambled. He gets back there. This is the part I didn't really like. It goes from found footage mockumentary style to third person, like traditional cinematography.
Mm-hmm.
And he murders Shelley, like puts the bag over her head and like strangles her. And yeah, I mean that's pretty much cut and dry the plot of the last broadcast. It's really infamous. I think the thing that makes it as popular as it is that it predates the Blair Witch. There is a lot of similarities, I think, in the sense that there's people that go missing. We don't know what happened to them at first. The Blair Witch was originally supposed to be a mockumentary in the same style. I'm really glad they didn't do that.
I mean,
At
the
first,
beginning was kind of like a mockumentary.
But the whole thing was supposed to be a mockumentary. Oh. They did away with that once they they started filming in the woods.
Right.
And they got like, that's where the meat of the movie is.
Yeah.
And then there's a mythological creature in both, the witch, and then there's also the Jersey Devil. But this one kind of spells out the end. We get an answer as to what happened. And I think that's what makes it kind of weaker, too, is that we know what happens. Whereas in the Blair Witch, we don't really know what happens.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like that the whole psychological part of David being the killer kind of adds a good twist on it.
The problem is that he's just so disconnected from them. Like, he doesn't know them.
He's just a sociopath.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, he's not in any of the prior footage. He just kind of shows up out of nowhere in that one shot.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think it's just... I really liked kind of would have liked more of the mystique of if they wouldn't have revealed that it was David. Like, if it would have been too blurry or, like, too ambiguous to, like, see, where you could it'd be up in the air. You know what I mean?
So you just never find out who did it?
Or you could be implied it could have been David, but not give you a definitive answer. I don't know.
I don't know. I think it sucks either way.
That's a pretty controversial opinion. A lot of people like this movie.
I know.
Which is, I mean,
just wasn't for me. But then again,
Rachel doesn't
I'm not
like found
a huge
footage.
found footage fan.
Rachel doesn't like found footage. I appreciate it for what it is because it is kind of like one of those pioneers of found footage. I mean, and it is really forward thinking with a lot of its plot and stuff.
Okay, but like, it's still a movie. You're still trying for that entertainment factor.
You're right. I'm just saying, like, there's a
I
lot
was
of
not
like forward.
entertained.
There's a lot of forward thinking ideas in this film, especially in the mid '90s, like the live streaming,
Yeah.
the mockumentary format. I mean, it had been done before, but this is really impressive, and it's just crazy like how close this came out. This came out, and then the Blair Witch comes out like a year later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There is an article that talks about how people think that people are trying to claim that the creators of the Blair Witch stole from this, but I like to lean towards that. The creators of the last broadcast have come out and said that that's not true, and also the creators of the Blair Witch have said that they didn't know about the film, which I 100% believe because this movie was so small.
Right.
Like it's not like today where there's streaming services where things are up and then something can get instantly popular overnight over TikTok or YouTube.
Yeah.
This is like was at a couple small screenings at like some film festivals in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. I
So
was surprised that it did gross 4 million at the box office worldwide
I mean, yeah,
for what it was.
yeah, especially because you don't know what you're getting going in.
Yeah.
Um, but all in all, like similarities between this and the Blair Witch of them going out into the woods and not coming back. Um, I just think the Blair Witch does it better. I think the movie is a lot more scary, and I think that I think that it's all the part of the being ambiguous to it. If we would have saw something happen to the kids at the end of the Blair Witch, I think it wouldn't have been as scary. Whereas we don't know.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, back to the last broadcast. I think it's solid for what it is, but I think that in the time since there's other mockumentaries that I like that are a lot better, like Savage Land, Lake Mungo. Those are I think a lot more scary with their premises. Um, and I think that this movie sets a good foundation for other things to build off of it. I just don't think in and of itself is as great as I was hoping it was going to
Yeah. I I just didn't like it. But like also I'm not someone who likes like I think this would be a good movie for people who like to watch like murder documentaries and stuff like that,
be. Yeah,
which I don't really like to watch. Um so I think my uh bias is more that like it's just not my kind of style, not that it's like necessarily like a bad movie. It's just like not something that I would watch really, if we weren't doing this.
I agree. I do think it's an important film to watch because of what it sets up for like other films we've watched later on. Like because it does, there are movies that borrow some similarities in styles and shots and stuff that we've seen in some other found footage movies that we've already watched. Um, in that sense, I think it's important, but I think you're right. I think that if you're already inclined to not like found footage, I don't think you're going to like this movie.
Yeah, no. Didn't-
So take if you are a found footage fan or a Last Broadcast fan, just remember that when it comes to Rachel's rating here in a second. um,
Yeah.
that's
Don't come for me.
yeah, well, or they can come. I'm just kidding.
No, he's not.
Just keep it nice in the comments. But yeah, that being said, that is kind of the gist of the last broadcast. There's not really much more to delve into as far as plot. I mean, it's all kind of just laid out there.
Yeah.
But so we'll go ahead and rate it. On a scale like for production for me, especially based on like how low the budget it is, how I think it is well shot. I think that there's not a lot. There's only so much you can do with such a limited budget, and for me, that's really impressive, and that is always going to be a strength for these found footage movies for me going forward. So I want to give it a 4.5 out of 5.
Okay. Wow.
That's production. That's not the story.
Right, I know. I guess I can agree with that. Because they had a budget of $900,
Mm-hmm.
and they did what they did. They made a movie.
They did make a movie.
I'll give it for production a 3.5.
You did say the acting was pretty good too.
Did I?
You did.
Okay. I'm going to give it a 3.5.
Okay, 3.5. Okay, what about likability, Rach? I'm dying to hear what you give for that. Is it okay? So is it as bad as I'm gonna venture to say that you don't think it was as bad as The Outwaters, which was a found footage movie as well that we watched.
No, it wasn't as bad as The Outwaters. It had a lot of pacing issues. Like, it was just so slow, and
Yeah,
I did almost fall asleep.
You did almost fall asleep.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm just like, found footage this month is just not my favorite.
I love this month.
I know you do.
My favorite month.
I know. I don't remember what I gave The Outwaters.
I think you gave it a 0.5.
Did I?
I think so.
Jeez,
So
that was
on
a year
principle-
ago.
So on principle, you should rate it higher than that.
Okay, I'll give it a 1.5.
A 1.5.
I'll give it a 1.5.
So that's a 5 out of 10. That's average.
That's average, which
see?
is what it scored.
Is it?
Yeah, 47% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh
which is
yeah, we
not
can't
average.
follow that. I liked it.
I know you did.
Except for the ending. I think the ending kind of really brought it down for me in terms of rating. So, but I do think the film is necessary for found footage. That being said, as far as how much I liked it, I gotta give it a 2.5 out of 5. Just kind of middle.
So 7 out of 10.
Yeah, 7 out of 10. Well, likability, kind of middle of the road. Production's what really puts it over the edge. But yeah, 7 out of 10. That's a fair score, I think, for the last broadcast. As you heard at the top of the video, it is Found Footage February, my favorite month, because I love found footage movies. They are my favorite subgenre of horror, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when they're done right. When they're done right, they can be...
Well, see, I liked the Blair Witch Project.
You like Hell House, too.
I did like Hell. Which one was
We
Hell
watched
House?
we watched the first 3 Hell Houses together. We watched all of them, actually.
Oh, yeah, I really liked those ones.
Those are found footage
Those
movies.
I really liked those ones. Yeah, no, those ones were done very well.
Yeah,
this
those are-
one, not so much.
Those are found footage movies. So you do like some found footage.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that. Yeah.
But we are not covering Hell House this year, so sorry. We might do it next
will
year.
eventually.
We'll probably do it next year. But next week's episode, we are going to cover a different, This one, the next movie is going to have a little bit more production value to it. The Frankenstein theory. Ooh, spooky. Not really.
No, not even a little bit.
But yeah, so next week's movie is The Frankenstein Theory from 2013. Please give us a like, comment, subscribe down below. What you think we should cover in the future? We're open to taking suggestions. It doesn't have to be found footage because we already got this month kind of planned out. But until next time, I'm your host Michael,
And I'm Rachel.
and we thank you guys for listening.